It's Week 16 of the 2023 season. Coming up, we've got Aaron Rodgers, as he's moved past 3,000 yards passing for the year and looking for more. It's the Packers and the Raiders coming up next.
This is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Alongside my partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and CD, you look at the Packers in this matchup, they've got to be thinking, hey, we've got a good chance to be successful here running the football.
No doubt about that, because that has to be their mindset. It should be their mindset. This is one of the better rushing offenses in the league, and they're squaring off against a team that's not at all strong on the other side of the ball. So this could be one where we see this offense try to impose their will through the trenches, and in fact, they should.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Here we go with the Packer offense guided by their decorated QB with a long list of Pro Bowls and other accolades next to his name, of course. Aaron Rodgers leading the way.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. Despite a little sizzle on the move, he's still tackled shy of the 20. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down. Throwing now is Rodgers. This one complete to Scott Miller. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. To throw is Rodgers. He's got the hook up with Dobbs. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 9 yards that time. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. He has it complete to Christian Watson. Looking at the numbers last week for Watson, just a really crisp, clean effort, well over 100 yards receiving.
But didn't he feel like he needed a hug when we talked with him this week?
Oh, because he wanted the touchdowns.
He wanted the touchdowns. He was all depressed after that performance. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You were brilliant. He's like, yeah, but I didn't get in the end zone. He must have heard from the fantasy players on that one.
On second down, it's Jones. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Jones. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards. 4th down, out comes the punter, Drew Chrisman. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. With it is Jackson. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance, because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. That'll be 2nd down. We take a look at his numbers on the ground last week. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. And not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
Now a man open down the middle of the field.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
That catch is number 819 of his career. It ties him with Hall of Famer Steve Largent,
who did things largely below the radar. Not this guy. 819 catches, that speaks loudly in volumes.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down.
Gets this to Waller on the crossing route.
Touchdown Raiders. Darren Waller, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Raiders have taken the early lead on the road here at Lambeau.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And that makes the score 7-0. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive.
The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10.
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Raiders pick it up. And they'll be inside the red zone with the ball at the 16-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that 6th sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Come on. Hey.
Here they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. They'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Back to throw here. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away. And incomplete.
That's what all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a 1st and goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. To throw, it's Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Raiders have recovered. This defense, Charles, very opportunistic here early. A second fumble recovery in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, you mentioned the right word, opportunistic and aggressive, because once they got the first fumble recovery, they were eager to get a second one, and sometimes they just come in bunches. On the flip side, they've got to figure out how to hold the ball because the play calls seem to be okay. They're just not executing.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff as they run left side. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Preston Smith there on the stop. 2nd and 10. Keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Las Vegas with the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Open man Lamb. It's complete. And the Raiders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead, and part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd down. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
He'll try again. But he will go backwards as he's stopped for a loss. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Buying time to his left. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Touchdown, Raiders. These guys need an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. They've already been on record tuck it and run on a scramble. We kind of hold our breath. Well, that was a maybe no, yes, as he's able to get into the end zone.
Are you saying he's got to learn where the line is about whether you keep your eyes downfield, try and find a receiver, or you tuck it and go? And I think there's going to be some growing pains with that. I think in this case, he made the right decision.
And we know he's got the speed. He showed it there. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And a touchback as Dortch elects not to return it. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Raiders pick it up. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And a touchback as Dortch elects not to return it. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And for the moment, they're sitting pretty in possession of that number 2 seed. But as we know and often happens, this is all still subject to change.
Oh, you're so right about that. But even though the math isn't there yet, I think it's going to take new math for them not to make the playoffs. They're almost certainly going to be in the tournament and certainly going to be a dangerous team if you have to play against them.
Rodgers now on first down. That's taken in by Watson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Completed out left to Dobbs. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 32 that time.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Now a first down carry by Jones. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
On 2nd down and 4, Rodgers finds his receiver, Watson.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 16. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown.
Christian Watson.
A 16-yard touchdown.
And the Packers get a bit closer.
Now, the scoreboard still does not look good, but at least they polished off that goose egg.
Yeah, they've been thoroughly outplayed in the first half. Finally, a little spark of life, but it's going to take a lot more to add to that flame for them to thoroughly get back into this one.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. He's got it, and that makes our score 24-7. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays.
And it was all capped off by a touchdown catch from Christian Watson. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They'll run for it. This is White. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. He's got a man, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Give them 32 on the play. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That's caught by Waller out left side.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown.
CeeDee Lamb
from 21 yards away.
And the Raiders continue to pull away here in this first half.
Carlson on for the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So that drive in total 8 plays.
And it's finished off by the touchdown from CeeDee Lamb.
On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Packers all set to go again. That means we'll see Christian Watson.
And the previous drive put him up over 1,000 yards for the season. So now it's what you like to refer to, my friend, as gravy time, right?
It is. I mean, he's done it, right? He's accomplished the goal. So the good players, they relax a little, they bask in it. They think this is, okay, we've done what we set out to do. The great players decide to push that number as high as they possibly can. I don't expect him to have any let-up in his game the rest of the way.
Great thing if you're on the opposite side. He's such a weapon. He just opens things up for the other guys around him.
Yeah, if you're the opposite receiver, you should expect a few passes to come your way, too, because I've got to kick coverage in his direction.
So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And it is the Jets who have the lead in that one. Former number 2 pick Zach Wilson with a couple of touchdown passes. From there, let's get down to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And in that one, it's the visiting Dolphins who are out in front. Jalen Waddle, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And they were winners in that ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. Zach Dysert, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. On now to a check on the next-gen stats for the Raiders in that first half. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the third and fourth quarters. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they did even less on the ground as they've struggled to get the run game going. You'd have to imagine, given the snowy condition, lots to talk about at halftime for these two coaching staffs. Plenty of decisions to be made for this second half for sure. And for the call, we hand it back over to Brandon Godden.
Indeed, Coach. Thanks very much. And that snow you alluded to showing no signs of stopping, at least in the foreseeable future.
Not much has changed since we left you at halftime. The snow still continuing to fall as we are back underway. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3.
Well, they got to be thrilled with how they've operated so far in this one. They've got the nice lead, and now a chance to score here on 3 straight possessions.
Yeah, and the way that they are rolling, I just don't know how they get slowed down, because they certainly are operating at peak efficiency right now. They might want to think about giving some of their backups a little bit of work, though. Let some other guys get on the field and do their thing and save some of this for the next time out.
You and I have talked about it before, but what about the year this guy's had on the ground? You come in as a rookie and in the discussion as MVP.
And people have always told me, running back, one of the easiest positions to break in, but not to this level. If you're talking MVP, that means he's had a sensational season.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and we'll still get the first down. They love being physical.
Let's do this, man. Let's put.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big pickup of 38.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has absolutely been relentless throughout.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
from the gun. He'll hand this off.
And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19.
52 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
They'll look to throw. And that's complete to Adams. Touchdown! Davante Adams with career touchdown number 94. He ties both Jerome Bettis and Priest Holmes on the all-time list.
And the Raiders take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays.
And Davante Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
This taken in at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Rodgers going to throw. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. No, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big gain of 39 on third.
That's why you call a screen. You want to catch a defense over-committing. Plenty of space available, and that matched up perfectly. What a convoy he got downfield to pick up big yardage on that play.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw.
He's got Tunyon complete over the middle. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage. Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. And again, it's Rodgers. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
And that is no good. And they will remain well behind.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
The Raiders now set to get the football back. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? It's kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things. That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. On third down, they're going to run for it here. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 73 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Second down at 4. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Yeah, and that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 23. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And able to work his way down to the 16. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. 4 yards, the pickup, first down. We're off to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. CeeDee Lamb. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders extend their 4th quarter lead, and they are closing in now on a 14-win campaign. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a touchback as Dortch elects not to return it. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers you would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And this offense on third down today, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now Rodgers. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. All told, it's a loss of 8 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. On now is the Packers punter. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And now here's a carry heading left. Taken down at the 47-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
96 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On the set. Check. Freeze.
On third down, they're going to run for it here. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. A Raider 1st down, 17 yards.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one.
And that's exactly what you run on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And the Raiders are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 third-down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. They give him 2 yards officially, and now it'll be 3rd and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Here's a give up the middle. It'll be a gain of 5, but they do keep him out of the end zone, and now it's 4th down. Defense keeps him out of the end zone there. Now, will they go for it? And if so, can they do it one more time?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth it going for it because what we've seen from the defense so far, every gap is taken care of. Everyone is sound in their coverage. No one is breaking free, and those ball carriers are getting tagged. If I were them, I'd think very hard about just taking 3 points and taking their dignity and moving on.
And the ball's at the 2, spotted at the 2, so a pretty good chunk to go. They'll try and run it with White. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Carlson on for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it was finished off with a touchdown run by Zamir White. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a touchback as Dortch elects not to return it. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Rodgers' throw complete here on target to Tunyon. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. And the Raiders have got him. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. To try again after the sack. Rodgers. That's complete to Dobbs. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Now Rodgers. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 15-yard line. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Raiders are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for Las Vegas, it's another win for them, and you wonder if they want a redo on that one loss as they sit now at 14-1. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for the Packers, their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to 8-7. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos.